How's it going, people? Today I'm going to be talking about Birds of Prey, the fantabulous emancipation of one called Harley Quinn on Blu-ray and 4K. I have talked about this movie for so long, just not because I love it so much, just because I've reviewed it on so many different formats. I went to the theaters, I saw the digital stream, and now I'm here to talk about the Blu-ray and the 4K. So, if you want to see what I thought of the movie, I actually reviewed it when it came out in theaters. You can check that out right up here. But without any other further ado, I'm going to get straight into the Blu-ray video quality here. And this Blu-ray looks awesome. And it should. It was shot digitally. There is absolutely no film grain here, and you can definitely see the difference. This is a very crisp, very clear, very grain-free movie, so grain haters, you're going to like this one. You can see very fine lines and very fine edges along characters, and along with that, unfortunately, as far as depth goes, from separating the foreground from the background, I could have used a little bit more here, but we'll see what the 4K copy brings. And as far as detail work here is concerned, it is excellent. It is absolutely everything that you want it to be. In close-ups, you can see every freckle, every speck on every character's face. It is great. Every strand of hair on a person's head. And then when you're getting into the CGI heavy moments of this film, like when the hyena comes, I feel like it looks the best here. I never liked how it looked even on the digital stream or in movie theaters when I saw it. But here it definitely seems like it is in the same scene. It doesn't stand out that much, and I definitely did appreciate that. Black levels here dip perfectly to black as well. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. There is no other reason why it shouldn't get a 9 out of 10. This is really good stuff. And when we're talking about the 4K copy here, this was actually given a 4K digital intermediate. So they haven't changed it on IMDb from when I reviewed it digitally, which means that this is a true 4K digital intermediate. I was kind of wondering that on the digital stream, but here you can definitely tell. Clarity here is bumped up considerably from the digital stream and quite a bit from the Blu-ray, and this thing just looks flawless as far as clarity is concerned. Second to only Gemini Man, and it looks really just like that good. And then when you're getting into the depth here, separation from foreground to background, you get that depth that you want out of this, and that is something that 4K can offer you. Detail work here is stepped up as well. You can see individual strands of paint on Margot Robbie's face from where they put on that Harley Quinn makeup, and you can see individual stitchings on their clothing as well. Then when you're getting into the outside world of Gotham, a lot of it you can definitely see a lot more than any of the other DC films. There's a lot of bright lights in this movie, and a lot of it is in the daytime. So what you have is you get to see a lot more of the detail in just the landscape and the bricks and the gravel on the ground. You can see the world a little bit more in this particular movie, and a lot of the detail work definitely does support that. With HDR, you are not going to get bright punches of color like some people might expect, but more like paints of color that are here. They are very vivid, and they are very striking, actually. I still do like them. All of the purples and the lime greens and the reds, they are very well done here without just standing out in a way that would just make it kind of awkward. If you are looking for color to really be bold and prominent, check out the Harley Quinn dance routine that she does, like Madonna in the scene where she gets knocked out. The reds in that scene are very, very bold and prominent, and if you are looking for that, you will get that in that particular scene. Along with that, there are bright lights here that you will almost all need your glasses for, your sunglasses, but they aren't quite that bright. But if you're looking for a scene that perfectly represents that, I would go to the scene where Black Mask interrogates Harley Quinn. There's a bright light right behind her that I definitely did notice a difference in 4K HDR. Black still dipped perfectly to black, and I just feel like this transfers everything that you want going from Blu-ray to 4K, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 also. And whether you bought this on Blu-ray or 4K, you can get the same Dolby Atmos mix here that is absolutely awesome and so much better than the one in the digital stream. I was kind of worried about that in the digital stream, but here, bass response is definitely stepped up. And that is something that I definitely did notice. And matter of fact, it is the star of the show. When you're watching a movie and you get a different level of bass from the soundtrack in the background to the action in the foreground, that is something that you're going to want to look for, and that is something that they have here. If you're looking for something that suffers from not having that, go to any Marvel Atmos track and it'll suffer from that, specifically Thor Ragnarok. But here they do that excellently, and it is something that I noticed right off the bat. Another thing that I noticed right off the bat is the speaker separation. With even the score of the film, it is top notch, and you will notice it straight from the first thing that you hear from this particular movie. Height work is minimal. You do get some. Specifically, the one that I did notice is in the scene where Harley Quinn is doing the jailbreak and she busts out the sprinklers. You can hear it come from above. And then you get a litany of scenes where the soundtrack comes from above as well. It's nice. I noticed it, but I could have used more of the action in the height speakers, and for that, I'm going to give this another 9 out of 10. I still really do like this one. And as far as a digital copy here goes, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, which means that you can download this on iTunes and on Vudu and get the 4K copy there. And it will be the same 4K copy that I actually reviewed a few weeks ago. Now, as far as special features here, there are quite a few of them. Unfortunately, all of them are on the Blu-ray disc. You get a bird's eye view mode that has little pop-up videos that go along with the movie itself. They go into how specific scenes were made. And then you get 6 featurettes that run less than 10 minutes long, but they go into different aspects of the filmmaking, some of the CGI, some that go into Margot Robbie's involvement with the movie, and then one that actually goes into the character of Black Mask. Now, unfortunately, like I said, none of them are on the 4K disc. This is still a 6 out of 10. And as far as my last looks at Birds of Prey, this is a movie that starts out pretty rough and jumps around from scene to scene. It doesn't really have a cohesiveness to it. Wants to be very, like I would say Guy Ritchie. Back and forth going from one time frame to the other and flashbacks galore. But once it finds its footing, I think that this movie has characters that I really do like. And it's just a rush. It has great action. And it's a fun time. And for that, when I reviewed this, when it came out in theaters, I gave it a 7 out of 10. And whether you watch this on Blu-ray or 4K, you get the same grade here of a 31 out of 40. If you like this movie, then you're going to be very well served by the video and the audio quality here. So guys, I have a whole lot coming out for you, including The Mask of Zorro. I actually have to check that out right after I finish recording this. And then I have to go into my Tom Cruise-a-thon with some Sonic the Hedgehog thrown in the middle there. So look forward to that as well. I thank all of you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't even say it because you all know it. And I will see you all next time.